This is how to build and scale your coaching business to 10K per month and beyond. Now, this entire workshop is dedicated to coaches or consultants, agency owners, or aspiring coaches. So if you're someone like that, then this is going to be perfect for you. We're trying to basically give you guys the sauce and the exact step-by-step system that we're using as well to build our coaching business and that we're using with our clients as well. And so this is what you will learn today. Three key things, guys: how to build your unique brand as a coach, design the profile of your soulmate clients, and craft your hero high ticket offer. Let me actually get this so I can draw. Right, so this is the first part. Then you're going to learn how to attract perfectly qualified leads 24/7 for your coaching business. And last but not least, how to effortlessly sign high ticket clients and deliver a premium experience. So these are kind of like the three core things that you're going to learn today. A lot to go into, but the guarantee for this workshop is that by the end, you'll finally have the clarity on who you are as a coach or aspiring coach, what niche you can serve, and what you can focus on. So this is the guarantee. I double down on clarity. I double down on providing you guys with the tools and the systems to simplify things, not overcomplicate things, because I'm all about simplicity and I'm all about like actually making money, right? So this is kind of like the purpose of this. And guys, I will check the chats once in a while. I'm just going to focus on the presentation mainly. But as I mentioned, you guys can drop questions in the chat. I'll answer them as we go. And we'll also do obviously like a Q&A at the end that just go in depth with that. Now, I got a special gift for you after the workshop. You guys are going to get our Unlock Creator Playbook. This is going to be a playbook with strategies, with questions you can ask yourself, practical exercises to get clarity on who you are as a coach, your coaching business, who you can target, all of that. And you guys are going to get this after the workshop. Let me check the chat again. Yes, Paul, the meeting is recorded. So you guys are going to get the recorded session. Cool. So does that sound good so far? Can we continue? Can we get an okay in the chat? Is the audio still good? I'm just checking. You know me. I like to, I like to be cautious with the technology randomly failing on us. But okay, cool, awesome, cool. So in case you guys don't know me, I guess I'll just go into like my background once again, and at this point it feels like I'm kind of repeating myself, but for anyone here who's new, I started out as a freelancer in graphic design, and this was, I think, 9 years ago, so I feel super old when mentioning this. I was an independent artist as well, so I dropped music. I was making like music, basically R&B. I was into rap, dropped a bunch of projects. And then, speaking of dropping, I dropped out of college at one point because I just did 2 years. I realized that's not for me. I dropped out. I sold thousands of things online, just trying to make money. Nothing like really popped off. I sold beats at once. Like, long story short, I did 10,000 different things. I then lived in the UK for a while, and I worked in the Amazon warehouse. For anyone who's familiar with that here, hopefully you're not, but it was just, it was awful. Like, we all love Amazon and to order stuff for them, but to actually work in a warehouse like that, yeah, that wasn't the best experience. Then I worked in sales and marketing for a SaaS business. Then I started three businesses of my own. I started my agency, my SaaS business, and my ecom store. I scaled all of these, but especially ecom to six figures in annually recurring revenue. I then started my personal brand in November 2023, right after, you guys might know this story already, but I went to Dubai for a business event. I honestly had the worst mental breakdown of my life in that hotel room that one night. And that kind of like made me realize like, shit, I got to stop focusing on 30 different things and all of these three businesses. I got to like stop having this shiny object syndrome, right? Because I call myself the shiny object king, right? Like this guy who just, I was always this guy who wanted to create stuff, but that translated into business. It got way too chaotic, right? So the stress for me, the overwhelm was too much. I was like, fuck this. I'm just gonna stop doing this and I'm gonna start taking what I learned and basically grow my personal brand and go from there. And I grew an audience of almost 200,000 people, which is absolutely crazy, and scaled to 5-figure months in less than 12 months with my coaching business. And here we are right now. So this is like, we're gonna get into this, but I feel like I've finally got super close to my calling and my purpose in life, which is basically helping people. Because for so long, guys, I tried so many different things. Like I tried music, I tried freelancing, I tried selling beats, I tried, an e-com store, I tried having an agency, all of these different things, and nothing was, I mean, sure, I made money, but the minute it all kind of clicked together was with my personal brand and with what I'm doing, which is basically helping people build their dream businesses. And in this case, dream coaching businesses. So this is kind of a bit about me. And yeah, currently this is what I'm doing. And I'm all about freedom, scaling fast, and building dream businesses, building your dream business. So these are kind of like my 3 core things, especially freedom. So I don't want to, I believe like it is our duty in life to create, to design, intentionally design our life to be able to just live on our terms, right? So this is what I believe in. And if you're into these things, that's awesome. And now let's kind of dive in because we got a lot of amazing things. So over the last few months, I talked to hundreds of coaches. It is absolutely crazy. And most of them have these 3 issues in common. So number 1, they don't know exactly who they want to serve and they have a confusing offer. So if you're someone like that, I totally get it. Like I was there myself last year and it is not a fun, fun position to be in. Then they struggle with complex funnels that eventually end in little to no conversions. So this might sound familiar to you guys. So, you got a lot of people that are trying to sell a course, a PDF guide, all of these different things. And then that only ends up confusing not only them as coaches, as creators, but also their potential clients. And they don't have systems in place to actually scale. And long story short, they're all over the place. And I know this because I was here literally like 12 months ago. I was in this position. And again, it's not a fun place to be in. So the solution, my solution for all of this is I designed a simple, very simple, scalable 3-phase system that gives you clarity and allows you to attract and sign the best high ticket clients, right? And this is what I like to call the Unlock Creator OS or operating system. You can call it system. And this is made of like 3 key parts, right? So we have Offer Genesis, we have Leads Engine, and then we have Clients Ascension. And these are the 3 key parts of any successful coaching business. So my system, the Unlock Creator system, is based around these 3 things. Working on the offer, making sure, we got the foundation there. We got the clarity in terms of the brand, in terms of what we want to offer as coaches, working on the entire engine to attract and nurture the best possible, like the perfectly qualified leads. And then we have the Clients Ascension, which is basically the system to get people from being strangers, even complete strangers, to actually getting them to be high ticket paying clients. So this is what we're gonna break down today. And we're going to dive into parts of all of these systems, and everything that you're going to get today, you can actually implement now into your business. So first things first, Offer Genesis. As I mentioned, we start by defining your soulmate clients and building your crystal clear high ticket offer. It all starts with this. If you don't have this, then these 2 are not going to work. Then we have the Leads Engine. We build your 24/7 running engine that attracts and nurtures your soulmate leads. And last but not least, as I mentioned, Clients Ascension. Once we bring in the perfect leads, we build your Ascension ladder. I'm going to show you guys in a sec. So you can turn them into high ticket clients. And all of this, I would define all of this with 2 words. It's like simple and effortless, right? So you don't have to put in like tons and tons of effort because this is a system that is designed to work like on its own. Once you get all of these different parts going, then the more people you get into your ecosystem, the better, because this is the entire thesis of us as Unlock creators. Like we don't like complicated stuff. We just want simplicity and actual money, right? So today we're diving into all of these key systems so you can walk away with actionable steps and strategies that you can implement now. Cool. I'm gonna quickly check the chat here. Cool. Okay, let's keep going. So first things first, guys, offer Genesis. So think about this as the foundation. This is like Genesis means, the beginning of your entire coaching business. So what does Offer Genesis have? We have unique brand architecture. So building the actual brand, right? Like building the unique brand. We have the soulmate client profile. So who are we trying to serve exactly? And then we have the high ticket hero offer. So we have the crystal clear, defined hero offer so that we know what we can actually do for people. So first things first, creating your unique brand as a coach. So your personal brand is the foundation of your entire coaching business. And you got to understand, guys, people don't buy coaching, they buy coaches, right? And it all starts with you. People don't buy a PDF guide, like people don't buy a course. People buy the person who's like, this sounds wrong, but like they pay for access to that particular person. You might think that people care about a course, care about, some videos, but in reality, they care about that human connection with that person who in their eyes is the perfect mentor, the perfect guide. So keep this in mind. Without a personal brand, without you showing basically parts of you, who you are, you don't really have a successful coaching business. And it all starts with you. And a practical exercise that you guys can implement right now, you will have this in the playbook that we're going to give you after the workshop, but basically you can work on your brand's mind map. And if you guys are not familiar with what a mind map is, this is basically like this diagram, spider diagram, right? And from here, like it all starts like this. Like you can go and basically your brand is the sum of all of these different things. So you can go, for example, with your personality. What are some traits that you have? Start drawing some traits from here, some branches. What are your skills? What are your best skills? Start listing them out. What is your story? Give me some story details in here. What are your best lessons that you learned? Your solutions, your core values. What are your achievements? What are your goals? And you can map this out. And trust me, guys, if you do this, you're going to actually have, because it's so visual, you're going to have the clarity in terms of like, oh, well, wait, like these are my solutions. These are my core values. This is like my entire personality. And this is my brand, right? Because I see a lot of people, they just go in without working on this some people might even call it basic or boring, but this is literally the foundation for your business, right? So don't ignore this. Instead, try to cover all of these different things, right? So you can actually have clarity on, who you are as not only as a coach, as a brand, but also as a person, right? So you can map this out. You guys are going to have that exercise. And I want you guys to keep in mind going forward, this hero's arc chart, as I like to call it. So this is the very foundation of this entire thing, and especially storytelling as a coach. So the thing is, you got to start, I know it may sound corny, but you got to start looking at yourself as the, the creator, the coach, as the hero. And the hero basically, starts with like a call to adventure, Then they might meet a mentor on the way. They might, learn some stuff, but then the hero crosses into the unknown. They go to trials, they go through failures, but they grow, they get new skills. And at one point they reach a very, very low, like critical moment in which the hero kind of, fades away, and they basically go through this entire rebirth and revelation, as I like to call it. This was my mental breakdown, like right here. And then the hero finally changes. They get new gifts, and then the hero returns changed, and then the adventure continues. And this is just the mental thing, right? Like a mental framework for you to understand that this is kind of like the cycle of us as creators, right? Like we're, long story short, we're going through shit, right? We're going through shit, we're suffering, we're learning, we're taking those lessons, and we're basically going through this entire revelation, and then we're presenting those lessons to our clients and to people on social media through the content. So keep this kind of like arc chart in mind. And you are the hero, and you get to create your world and choose, most importantly, choose who you work with. So nothing about like this business should be random, guys. Like it all needs to be super intentional, and you get to work, you get to choose who you work with, and you get to create your unique world. And this is what I'm going to show you how to do right now. And just some examples, you guys might hate this guy. It doesn't even matter, but I'm sure everyone here knows who this guy is, right? I'm not even going to say his name. But the thing is, whether you know, like him or hate him, it doesn't even matter. But what I'm trying to, like, this is an example. He built his world, his cult of fans, and therefore he's able to funnel people into his platform, right? And you can only imagine the amount of money this guy makes just because he built himself out to be this, you know, this hero of his cult, and he built his own world. We can take a look at Luke Belmar as well, who's building Capital Club, and it's the same exact thing. Posting content, revealing parts of himself, who he is as a person, and then creating his unique world, his unique value system, and then people, you know, he gets people into his Capital Club. I'm sure you guys might be familiar with Alex Hormozi and Layla Hormozi. They're doing the same thing. They're providing insane amount of value on YouTube, on all of these different platforms, basically. And then what are they building? They're building acquisition.com, right? Which is their private equity company. And therefore, they're like, by building their world online with their content, they're able to bring in so much, like such a large volume of perfectly qualified people. And then they get, all of these guys, they get to choose who they want to work with. And so, as I mentioned, they all create their unique worlds, right? And they all create belief systems that turn strangers into cult followers. And this is what we want to do as well. Because you got to understand, you're not just a coach, right? You're a hero, and you get to present the story of a unique character that went through a deep transformation. So this is the entire framework for you creating content, storytelling, everything, because people will relate to that transformation. And I want to give a really cool example here of Michael Jordan to help you understand the importance of creating a brand, a personal brand. His mother, Dolores Jordan, said when they were working on the deal with Nike to like sign Michael Jordan and build his basically line of shoes, she said, a shoe is just a shoe until my son steps into it, right? So if I zoom in here on the Air Jordans, right? Nobody really care. Do you think people care about like the you know, there might be some people that care about like the intricate small stuff, like the material and stuff, but people only care about the shoe because the shoe represents Michael Jordan's entire story. So a shoe is just a shoe until my son steps into it. I thought that was amazing, and this applies to anything. A course, a generic course, if anyone could technically film that, but if you position yourself as the unique hero, then, you know, nobody can take that away from you, and people are going to gravitate towards you because it's all about like being unique and creating your world. And this example I think is really cool. And now let's look at like what are the three key traits of you know, of a hero, in this case of a coach. Relatable, you know, vulnerable, and aspirational. So you got to keep these traits in mind when you're building out your entire personal brands. You got to be relatable, right? Like people need to look at you, and people need to be like, oh, okay, like I relate to the stuff that he went through. Now let me follow his content. You got to be vulnerable. What do I mean? What do I mean by vulnerable? I don't mean like go on your Instagram story and just like complain about shit and being like, oh, this happened to me. Like life is so, life is so bad. No, I mean like opening up about what your experiences were, and also most importantly, what lessons you got from that, right? And also aspirational, like show people what are your goals as a coach yourself, as a mentor. What are your goals in life? What are you trying to build with your business, with your personal life as well? And I want to show you guys now something really cool that is going to help you basically build your hero, which is the Stan Lee Great Characters Framework. So if you know this guy, I used to be, and I'm still am, to be honest, like a big fan of Spider-Man. But this guy is basically responsible. He created all of these different superheroes, from Spider-Man, from Hulk, to all of these guys, right? And he has a really, really cool framework that he used to use for basically building heroes. And it starts like this. The first step is to emphasize relatability. As I mentioned before, right, things got to be relatable. The second step is to develop unique and interesting traits, right? So think about it right now. What are some really unique and interesting traits that you have? And then creating compelling backstories. So just like a hero, just like, for example, Spider-Man, who's, just a kid from Queens, what is your backstory, right? Like, what is you remember like 10 minutes ago when I basically presented like my story, like I started out like that, and then I did this, then I went to that, and then boom, boom. So you got to do the same thing. So what is your backstory? And then you got to make sure you have a consistent character development. So just like in a movie, just like in a video game, your character, which is you, needs to constantly develop and evolve. And you got to show that through content. And last but not least, which I think this is really cool, you got to balance superhuman abilities with human emotions. So don't just, and I'm guilty of doing this, especially like last year. I know I did this a lot, in not in the very beginning, but I think when the numbers started to go up. I got into this phase where I was like, everything needs to be so shiny and pretty, and I don't have to like show too much emotion because I want people to look at me as the expert and all of this. But then I realized, like, dude, wait a minute, like people want to see who you actually are, right? And so that's when you got to balance those superhuman abilities. Like, oh, let's say you're an expert. We got Paul here. He's an expert in real estate, right? He's an expert in that, so he's the superhuman in that, but he might balance that out with some human emotions, as in, look guys, I went through stress myself. I went through trying to manage different properties all at once, and it was so chaotic, right? And this is what I got from it. This is what I learned. So this is like the entire framework. And basically in here, what you can do is you can do that. You can do this through multiple ways of actually like practical ways of posting content, but I love to do it like through stories, right? So in my case, some of you in here might know these stories, but I literally went from, I literally went with stories like this, like showing the baby Andre, saying this little kid had no idea, like creating that backstory, right? Like talking about my biggest fear, like that I never find my true purpose. And this is for real. Like this is not me making shit up, right? I actually posted these things. That's why I took the screenshots here. I talked about how I dedicated over 12 years of my life to making music, becoming an artist, talking about like my progress in the music industry. These photos are literally from music video shoots that we did. I was talking about how I was starting to get more and more successful. The music was better than ever, but I realized I cannot fully be myself. And this is why I dropped out of the music industry. And I took all of the creativity and put that in my businesses and personal brands, showing people basically how I turn myself into a brand. So it's all about, right? It's all about like creating that backstory, identifying what are your unique traits, making sure you constantly show your development and balance your superhuman abilities with the human emotions. So this is kind of like the entire framework for building a great hero. And again, when I say hero, I know it may sound corny, but try to look at yourself like that your entire life. Like the pain that you went through, the struggle, the achievements, all of that, because all of these different things are amazing topics that you can take and you can literally post content about. And a big mindset shift, guys, for everyone here that I want you to like write this down somewhere if you can, if you got a notepad. You're already good enough and you are in the perfect place to help the person you once were. I'm going to say that again. You're already good enough and you are in the perfect place to help the person you once were. Because I see a lot of people, they struggle with this, and myself included, right? I struggle with this thing of like thinking like, shit, like I'm not, I'm not good enough for people to listen to me. Why should I even create content? Like I wasted 3 years plus of my life not creating content, not starting my personal brand because of that fear of basically not being good enough, right? So try to realize you're already good enough. Like your story so far, it's good enough, and you're in the perfect place to help someone that was once in your shoes, let's say 2 years ago, 3 years ago. If you're a couple of steps ahead of someone, let's say you're 1 year ahead of them, you can still help them. You don't like get this idea out of your mind like you got to be a billionaire, you got to be this perfect, perfect person to help someone. No. Like that's the big mindset shift, and try to like write this down somewhere. And my biggest philosophy is that you can turn your pain into your platform. So what do I mean by pain? I don't mean like physical pain. It could be that, but when I say pain, I mean the struggles that you went through, the challenges that you went through in your life. And you can do this very dumbed down, simple exercise. You can write down 3 painful moments from your life, and then 3 lessons that you learned from those painful moments, and then turning those lessons into basically like 3 ways you can help your clients. And I did this exercise a while ago with basically, I call it the reflection table, with basically just me taking, putting down in this table like my lessons, my mistakes, my achievements, and I just wrote them down, and I'm going to read these out right now. So for example, lessons, I just wrote down: the sooner you act, the better. Ideas are good, but execution is what truly brings success. Focus on one thing instead of trying to spread yourself too thin, right? So this is probably the biggest lesson that I learned. You're way more equipped and ready than you think. Look at this, guys. Like this is what I wrote literally, I think 12 months ago, right? So this is literally what I said in here. You're already good enough, right? These are all of the lessons that I learned along the way. What are some mistakes that I made, for example? Trying too many businesses and ideas all at once instead of focusing on one thing, right? Again, mistake. Chasing money, right? Another huge one. Instead of building an ecosystem that attracts it. Thinking everyone thinks like I do and has the same mindset. Like these are all like all of my personal mistakes, right? Some achievements, some successful routines. Like you can write all of this down and you can follow this framework right here. So you can, turn the painful moments into lessons, and then into some ways you can help your clients. And this is again just a way for you to further get the clarity that you need. Let me check the chat once again, because I know I could go off with this, and I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. So what are we thinking so far, guys? Does this make sense so far? So we got imposter syndrome. Yeah, imposter syndrome is a huge thing as well. And I can actually talk about this right now. So with imposter syndrome, like quick segue into this, the way you actually get over it and the way you overcome it is by writing down every single moment you get that imposter syndrome, that kicks in. Write down, and you can do this even like before. Write down, make a list of your achievements, make a list of your wins so far in life, right? Whether that's in your business, in your personal life, it doesn't matter. Make a list, and I call it the confidence bank, right? So this is a bank for you to go to every time that imposter syndrome kicks in. And every time it kicks in, you go back to the list and you look through that. And that is a confirmation for the brain that, wait a minute, like we actually did this, like we actually did something. And imposter syndrome really kicks in even after you get big wins. So I'm just gonna like give a personal example here. Literally at the start of this year, in under 10 days, like through the coaching business, we made over, I think, $9,000, which is really, 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 really great for the start of the year, right? And then my brain, a couple of days later, went into this entire like thing, like, wait a minute, like maybe I'm not good enough. And I was like, dude, like, what do you mean? We just did this, right? So again, it's going back to what you did and understanding that, first of all, imposter syndrome, we all get it. That's something normal. But again, you gotta have something. You gotta have a collection of things that you did that you can just go back to every time you get that imposter syndrome. So hopefully that makes sense. Just as a segue into that. But let's get back to this. So now some really in-depth business practical things. Let's design your soulmate client profile. And this is AKA like, what's my niche and who should I even focus on, right? So first of all, guys, when you talk to potential clients, this is another segue. When you talk to potential clients, they will always judge and position you in one of these three buckets. Even though you might think people are not judging you, trust me, they are. And they will judge you and position you in one of these. So the first one is a newbie, right? The newbie, this is the worst bucket to be in. This is the guy who just needs more experience, right? The second one is the pro, the guy who is skilled, but charges like typical market rates. So nothing like too special. They are a pro, but they're not special. Now, the last bucket, and this is the one you want to be in, is the key person of influence. So KPI, the one who is in high demand and charges whatever they want, right? So this is the coach that just separates themselves from the typical market rates. They're not the newbie, they're not the pro, definitely not these, and they can charge whatever they want. And a key person of influence is the hero in any market. They stand out, their unique story and methods allow them to charge what they want, right? And this is what I'm going to help you become, the key person of influence for your niche. So if you want to become the key person of influence and get better clients, you have to know the answer to these three things. What you do, who you do it for, and why it matters, right? So write these down right now. What do you do? Who do you do it for? And why does that thing matter to you and to them? And you need to get crystal clear on this if you want success as a coach, because the entire framework for a successful coaching business is this. You tackle one big problem for one specific group of people and you give them one big solution. That's it. You don't tackle 50 different issues like, global warming, wars, crypto, all of this, like personal branding. No, you tackle one problem for one specific group of people and you offer one solution for that. Now, you might be thinking, Andre, I don't want to niche down. I don't want, I want to help everyone. What if I lose money? And I get that. Like, I totally understand that fear and that pushback. I've been there myself. But you got to ask yourself, how long do you want to suffer for? How long do you want to work in anonymity? How long do you want to compete at the bottom level? Because all of these different things happen when you don't niche down. So when you don't specialize in something, you're just going to compete with the entire market. And as we know, what is the number one rule in marketing? Like the number one purpose is to position yourself in a bubble, in a category with less competition. I'm not saying no competition, but the goal is to position yourself in a bucket with low competition to allow yourself to win. To basically, we can take it to like the really business in-depth level, like to get as much percentage of the market, like market share as possible. So if you don't want to niche down, if you don't want to specialize, if you don't want to become a hero for a particular group of people, ask yourself this, like how, and this is a really adult conversation, right? Like how long do I want to suffer for? How long do I want to like pretend I can help everyone and not be able to charge what I'm worth, and almost work in anonymity? Because to be honest, if you don't specialize, then you're just going to be like the rest, right? And being a generalist rarely works in your favor. Like CEOs, I'm just gonna, if I can write this down, CEOs, these are great. Um, Being a generalist is great for being a CEO, being like the head of a company, that works great, right? But if we're talking about coaching, if we're talking about mentorship, being this guy or girl that just like pretends to know everything about everything, like that will rarely work in your favor. And remember, if you want to save everyone, you'll end up saving no one. And if you guys, we can go into like the psychology of things. If you have like this savior complex, which I did as well all throughout my life, you might struggle with this as well. And you might think like, I don't want to niche down because then I could, I'm going to lose people. I'm going to lose potential clients. So I'm going to try to help everyone. Boom, boom. Trust me, that doesn't work. You'll end up saving no one. And you got to niche down. And this is the most dumbed down version, the most like the simplest version of how niching down looks like. So this is the market in here. This is your passion. And in the middle, at the intersection of all of these, we have your niche, right? So a lot of people, what they do is they focus on the market. They're like, I want to help the market. You cannot help the entire market. You can only help the people that are here at the intersection of the market and your passion. Now, obviously, this is the very dumbed down version of it, but you got to find that sweet spot. What is that sweet spot for you? And it might be super small. There might be only like 1,000 people in that. That's fine. Because again, the way we're building all of this out for you, we build out like a high ticket, what we like to call a high ticket hero offer, right? So think about like an offer. If you have something that sells for 5,000, 1,000 people, that's not too bad, right? And the fear of specializing only keeps you trapped, overwhelmed, and burnt out. Trust me, I've been through this most of my life. And I got this quote here from Blair Enns, who said, that's a lesson for individuals. So another pattern I've seen over the years is that the focused expert becomes more expert over time, while the unfocused creative doesn't become more creative, he fights burnout. One builds an asset and the other tries not to deplete one. So I thought this was like this resonated with me so much because I've been that unfocused creative most of my life. And I didn't become more creative. I was just fighting burnout all of my life. And when things really clicked for me, when I said, fuck all of this, I'm just going to stop, right? I'm just going to stop and I'm going to focus on a specific group of people, which is what I'm doing now, focusing on coaches. And that's how you become more focused, more expert, by just, being the focused expert, not the unfocused creative. So how do you become a focused expert? Well, you build the exact profile of your soulmate clients and you just focus on helping them, not anyone else. And a practical exercise for you. This is what I like to call the 3 stack. So you build the soulmate client profile. And when I say soulmate client, this is basically your ideal clients, the one person, you would love to work with. You start with the first thing, which is what is their profession, right? So what do they do? Then what is their current situation? What is their income? What are their pain points right now? What are their constraints? What is their lifestyle like? What is their relationship status like? Go super in depth and define every single small thing in their current situation. And then what is their desired outcome? So they got this profession, this is their current situation, but then where do they want to go in life, right? What is their desired outcome? Both in business and personal life, their lifestyle, all of this. And you map all of this out and you build this stack, the 3 stack for your soulmate client. And this is how you map out their profile. And here are 5 questions that will help you find your soulmate clients. These are really helpful. So number 1, what does their life look like before they start looking for you, right? Like what's their life like? 2, what are their external problems? 3, what are their internal problems? 4, what are they first looking for when they find you? And 5, this is really important, what is their version of success related to that particular main problem. So you can write these down and actually take a moment, take a couple of hours even during a day to answer these questions. Because a lot of people, what they do is they start creating content, they dive into posting all of that, they try to sell something without even like taking a look at what is like, wait a minute, what is the situation of my client, of my ideal client. Try to understand all of this. And after you know who your soulmate client is, you need your clear hero offer. So this is our one big solution to their big problem. This is the high ticket solution that I was talking about. And your hero offer needs to be these four things, right? Like it needs to be tangible. Like it needs to be, for people, like when people hear your offer, they got to go like, oh, okay, like that's actually possible. Like don't tell people you're going to fly them to Mars and get them a meet up with Elon Musk, right? Like it's got to be tangible. It's got to be specific. So it doesn't need to like, don't make it abstract. Don't, for example, if you're in the health or holistic, niche, don't tell people like, oh, I'm going to help you become happy, because like, what is happy, right? And then again, it needs to be measurable. So people need to actually be able to measure some things, some results for that particular offer. And it needs to be reasonable. It needs to sound reasonable. So don't tell people you're going to help them, become billionaires in 2 days, because that's not going to happen. That's not reasonable. And this is a quote from Jack Welch, who's a CEO. He said, if you don't have a competitive advantage, do not compete, right? So in a market, this is what it comes down to. When you're positioning your offer, your high ticket offer, when you're creating the coaching offer, you need to have a competitive advantage. You need to answer that question is like, why would people come to me over anyone else? What is my competitive advantage? What is that thing, right? And that thing is your unique story. Because if you bring your unique story, your personality, and the methods to serve your soulmate clients, no one will be able to replace you. And you got to get these down, like, settle on what is your unique story? What is your personality? Bring all of that to the table. And what are the unique methods to serve your soulmate clients? And you got to ask yourself these two questions. Am I actually irreplaceable? Be super honest with yourself. And if the answer is yes, or if the answer is like, no, I'm not irreplaceable, like I can be easily replaced, go back to the drawing board, what we talked about before. Define all of these key things for you as a coach. And the second question is like, okay, if I'm irreplaceable, why would people want to work with me over anyone else, right? So why? Why? Can you answer this right now? If I would ask you, why would people want to work with you over anyone else? And don't tell me price. Don't tell me anything, because it's not about the price. Like when you position yourself in a really like in such a way that the competition has no chance, and you provide your unique story, you can charge whatever you want, because this is the point of it, right? So what is the why? And look, stop trying to sell small PDFs and generic courses. I did this as well, guys. This is literally how I started. But then I realized one of my mentors told me, like, dude, your ideal clients, they want access to you, right? They want access to you. They don't want a PDF. They don't want a course. And think about it, guys. If I would sit here right now, if I would give you another PDF of 35 pages, another course, another, without access to me, without this, what we're doing here, which is the human connection, you guys would be like, oh, fuck off with these, things like PDF, all of this. Like people don't want that anymore. So get into that mind frame. Like the real money is not in the PDFs, is not in the courses, right? I'm just checking the chat again, guys. Let's take a sec. So you really speak to me, but my issue. So Zabina says, you really speak to me, but my issue is that I cannot have anyone to build references and testimonials to back me up. Yeah, so the way to get around that is to honestly serve people at the very, very beginning, even for free or for dirt cheap, and to get some results. Or either that or get some results for yourself. As in, let's say if you're, I'm just going to give an example. If you're an online fitness coach and if you want to help people lose weight, obviously try to lose weight yourself. But the best way is to test what we like to call a minimum viable offer, right? Like test a minimum viable product or an MVP, right? Test out like a small variant of your offer, make it super cheap and see if there's actual demand for it. And then ask for testimonials in return when you get results. Paul asks, any books that you can recommend on this topic? Man, there are going to be a lot of books, but the number one book that I would recommend right now, I'm just going to actually type it in the chat, is Dollars Flow to Me Easily. And actually one more, The Science of Getting Rich. So those books are going to unlock, pun intended, unlock a big thing in your mind in terms of attracting whatever you want in your life. And this is not no bullshit like spiritual advice. This is real things. So question about the soulmate clients. What do you mean with external problems like job? Yeah. So when it comes to soulmate clients, you got to understand what do they deal with in their life? So is it like an annoying boss, not having the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want and they're like caught up in their 9 to 5? All of these external factors, right? It's easier to envision the problems when you picture. Yeah. What problems did you have that slowed you down? Yeah, that's a nice question. Cool. So hopefully that I just did a small segue there. But yeah, let's continue. And again, guys, drop any questions and I'm gonna answer them as I go. But as I was saying, your ideal clients want access to you, and this is the biggest difference when it comes to high ticket versus low ticket. So you got to understand with a PDF, like a generic course or whatever, you as a coach, like if you actually want to make money, you're going to have to sell hundreds and hundreds of products to make some money. Whereas with the high ticket clients, you only need, I just did this example in here, but like one high ticket client can be as equal or like even better than 100 low ticket clients. And without a doubt, guys, the best possible people that you can work with are the high ticket clients, not the low ticket, not involved people. And again, I know this from personal experience. And it's all about how you position your offer, right? So I made this I heard this in a podcast and I put this down on an image because I think that this is so good. So if you guys know Lewis Hamilton, he's a Formula One driver, like race driver. This guy in the podcast basically said this: if you help Lewis Hamilton drive 1 second faster, that is worth millions of dollars for him. But if you help average Joe drive 1 second faster around the block, that's worth nothing. Or even worse, Joe could get a speed ticket. And I thought that was so good. Because that is the thing. When you position your offer to help those type of really great individuals, really great clients to work with, that can actually make you a fortune. If you try to help everyone, if you try to help like random people that do not align with what you offer, that not only that might not be worth that much, that might actually be worse for them, right? So that's a great analogy there. And turning something great into something even greater will make both you and your clients a fortune. Whereas trying to fix something broken is just not worth a lot of money. And that's the harsh truth. Like if you're trying to fix everyone, again, you're going to end up not fixing anyone. And not only that, you're not going to make a fortune. And high ticket offers are easier to sell in general as long as you position yourself to succeed. And this is the entire purpose of this workshop. Because I'm all about simplicity and, as I mentioned, an effortless client ascension, right? So what is that? I'm going to show you in a sec, because this is why I created the Client Ascension system. So this is it right here. This is what we use inside Unlock Creators, and this is what I'm using myself and for my clients as well. This is a simple system. We're going to go over it more in depth in a bit, but this is a simple, think about it like a ladder. Right? You provide one solution to people, but you provide multiple levels of access. So anyone can understand the concept of a ladder, right? So it starts with the free value. You create content on YouTube, on Instagram, or on X, like on any platform. You provide free value there. And then you give people more value and more personal help in your free community. And you can do this on Skool. You can do this on even like a WhatsApp group. I recommend Skool because this is amazing. You can combine video material with personal interaction as well, calls. It's amazing. And then you ascend people to a paid group for what? For group coaching. Because again, the one thing they want is access to you. And as they go up the ladder, the higher they go, the more they pay. And the last step in the ladder is the one-to-one mentorship. So for you as a coach, this is where you want to be. This is like the highest tier in which you work with your soulmate clients, the perfect people that you want to work with, and you bring them from here and you ascend them effortlessly through this ladder. And the biggest thing why I developed this concept is like with a classic funnel. I'm just going to try to and build that here. With the classic funnel, because a lot of people tell you nowadays, oh, build a funnel, sell a PDF guide, whatever. You rely on huge amounts of traffic in your funnel to actually, by the end of the funnel, make, a few sales here and there. And I've been there, and that's frustrating. And why is that? Why do you struggle to sell with a classic funnel? Because people don't have enough of a buffer, like enough of a time gap for them to build the trust to work with you. Whereas with the client's ascension system, you constantly at every step, you nurture people, right? So it's not about like giving people a PDF and then telling them, hey, now buy my course, now buy this. No, you give people value all across the ladder, and you're just providing one clear solution to people, but with multiple levels of access to you. And the higher they go, the more they need to pay. So this is kind of like the client's ascension. Now let's move into the second part of this, which is our leads engine. So this is going to be your 24/7 running engine that brings in soulmate leads and nurtures them 24/7, right? So this is how it looks like, super simple. So in my case, I'm doing YouTube and Instagram, which is both organic and ads as well. Running ads, a really, really simple ad. We call it the hero ad on Instagram. And we have a free community as well, right? So all of this is the leads engine. And this is how it looks like. The basic flow of it. So you bring people through, you create growth content, right? This is basically the content that can go super viral. You run an ads to bring people in to follow you, and you create content that grows your brand super fast, right? And then you bring qualified leads. You send the qualified leads from that growth content. It could be Instagram. This is usually short form. You bring them over to the long YouTube videos where you nurture and you educate people as much as possible. And then you bring those educated leads over to your free community. Again, this can be on Skool, where you nurture people and you get them ready to ascend, to the group coaching right here. So this is the entire flow of the leads engine. And again, this is what I'm doing. Free content, free, a lot of value on Instagram, stories, reels, posts, super in-depth videos. I have videos up to 1 hour. They're literally like masterclasses for free on YouTube. And then a lot more value in the Skool, workshops, talking to people individually, giving them advice, and then actually getting them ready to ascend up the ladder, right? So here's your game plan for building your lead engine. Super simple, with actionable step-by-step. First, you got to define your 3 content pillars. So the big 3 categories of your content. Then you got to choose your main core pillar. So this will represent 80% of your content. Then step number 3, you got to research the top creators in your niche. And step number 4, you got to research Reddit forums and trends. You can use AI to understand the market need, right? So you got to do research. Then you just make a collection with that market research for content inspiration. This should be 6 and 7. There we go. Number 6, you got to work on your hooks and scripts. And you can even train AI on how to do this. I'm going to show you this in a sec. And 7, you got to double down on long form content, because as I mentioned, this is the best way to actually nurture people and get them ready to pay you the big bucks. And the long form content basically gives them, like, the number one rule, and the most simple way I can break this down is to literally give everything away, right? Give away the secrets, sell away the implementation, as Hormozi said. Like, that's the golden rule. You got to give people every possible nugget in your content, and then basically they will have so much trust with you that they're ready to basically spend money with you and invest. Now, to break this down in a really like practical way, this is how this could look like. So you can content pillars. This is for like an online fitness coach niche, right? So these could be overcoming fears as an online fitness coach, helping people lose weight with a customized program, custom meal plans. These could be the 3 pillars. We can choose this one, for example, like helping people lose weight with a customized program, as the core pillar. And then researching the top creators, we can go on Instagram, just research what are the top creators in this space that are helping people lose weight, all of this. These are just some examples, right? You can obviously, like, the more reels you research with this, the better. And then you gotta research Reddit and the trends. You can also use AI. So you can use Perplexity AI. This is awesome because it literally gives you like sources and even videos and websites and articles based on like the search. And I just searched here, for example, losing weight. It came up with some sources. And it also, like, the awesome thing about Perplexity AI is that it gives you related questions, right? So you can actually use these to create YouTube videos, to create reels, to post stories, to create carousels. Look, like, what are the best exercises for burning fat? How does fiber help with weight loss? So all of these different things, these are actual things that people want to know. And like I said, you can also use Reddit to make your bank of research. So I just went on Reddit. People are asking, how do I lose weight for summer? Right? So this is a big pain point for people. So in this particular case, you can use that again for content. And then, as I mentioned, you make a market research collection. You just bring the stuff in there. And then what you can do for the next step to train AI on how to actually write scripts so you can make use of that and move faster, you can use a tool. I'm gonna give you guys. It's called. Let me actually find it now. It's called Instagram Turbo Downloader. It's somewhere here. I cannot find it now for the life of me, but okay, let me just Google this. Instagram Turbo Downloader. Yeah, so it's this. Turbo Downloader for Instagram. Drop this. I'm going to drop this link in the chats here. Yeah, there we go. And you guys can take this basically and use this for, like, whenever you're on your laptop or your PC, you can download the reels that you saved from other creators, even from yourself. You're going to have like a small download button in here. It's going to be like super simple, straightforward. And then what you can do is you can actually take that video, drop it into something like Restream. This is another tool, Restream, to transcribe the video into text, right? You can also use Gemini for YouTube videos. And then what you can do is you can make a collection of, let's say, 50 different reels from creators, and you can actually put all of those into ChatGPT. And you can tell it, like, look, I want you to act as my online fitness, Instagram, and YouTube coach. You will help me write YouTube, Instagram scripts, emails, basically any form of content. I help busy work from home parents lose weight and gain muscle with my program. This is the goal. And I'm going to be providing you with some example scripts that we can use for inspiration. And you also give it your content pillars, and you basically give it all of your bank of research, your research collection. And then the AI is actually going to be able to know what exactly is the style of script that you're looking for. And that's how you can kind of train the AI. And then, as I mentioned, once you have this, you can make use of this to create scripts, but most importantly, double down on long form content, right? So does that make sense so far? Because I know it's a lot. I'm just aware of the time. Are we still here? Drop an okay in the chats if we're good. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, so this is kind of like the game plan for the lead engine. And now let's take a look at how you can effortlessly sign high ticket clients and deliver a premium client experience. So again, the client ascension ladder in here. So we already know this. You take people up the ladder, right? And the goal with this is to make it super easy for you to sign clients, right? And for you to actually make money. And remember, once again, people want access to you. They don't want to be overwhelmed and they want a clear path to success. So what you can do right now, you can provide them with two adventures. The only difference being, the amount of access to you that they get. So I just mapped this out in here. So we got this little guy. So we can have two adventures. We can have the self-paced adventure, which basically gives them access to your group coaching, as the coach. And that is self-paced, right? Like that is in their own rhythm, like in their own style. But then you could offer the fast-paced adventure, which is basically group coaching plus access to you one-on-one, right? And you can combine school with WhatsApp, with Zoom calls, like you can do one-to-one sessions. And the idea here is to, again, not overwhelm people and make it super simple for them to understand, you have two adventures. You can either do self-paced or fast-paced with me. Because again, the number one thing they want is access to you. And the way to do all of this is to honestly position your offer like a supercar. And I've talked about this before, but I think it's so, so important. And a supercar, I just made like this image here, is usually the one that is sold, right? Like is usually the one that goes away because there is high demand for it. And why? Because supercar, you associate a supercar with scarcity. Because true value is found in scarcity. And I'm giving this analogy here, but low ticket offers. So if you would have a low ticket offer, this is like selling economy cars. So they're affordable, right? But the profit margins are low. You got to sell hundreds of cars just to hit your income goals. Each sale requires a lot of time, a lot of energy. And let's be real, they're not investing in the car for the long run. They're looking for a quick fix to get from A to B, right? But with high ticket offers, they're like selling supercars. So each car has a premium price tag, meaning you only need to sell a few supercars to hit your income goals, right? So think about Lamborghini versus, Honda, right? Like they got to sell thousands of Hondas, whereas with Lamborghini, they just got to sell a couple of them, right? The buyers are serious investors. They know the value of what they're purchasing and they're willing to pay premium for the experience, status, and performance. And they also value the experience and status that the car brings over the price tag. So you got to ask yourself, which one of these categories am I trying to be in? Like, am I trying to sell economy cars or am I trying to sell supercars? And as I said, true value is scarce, right? So if you behave, that's the number one rule. If you behave like the market, you will get the market rate, right? You will only get what the market charges. And you don't want that, right? And I put this ad in here from Porsche, like another super amazing example in marketing and positioning. They said, honestly, now, did you spend your youth dreaming about someday owning a Nissan or a Mitsubishi? And they just show the Porsche. So this is positioning. And you can use the scarcity stack for basically building demands and selling high ticket offers. The scarcity stack is like this. You can do introduction events, which they can be workshops just like this one, webinars. You can do group coaching and open up some spots for people. Just introduce people to what you're offering. Then you can do waiting lists. The waiting lists are basically, you open up your program and you bring people to a page where it says, we're out of spots right now, but you can sign up on the waiting list and we're going to send you a message when we're open. This again creates what? It creates scarcity. And then you can do limited spots. but be super honest about this. Like, don't bullshit people. Like, don't do 10 spots and then open up 500 more spots. Like, be super, super honest about this. And the more you do this, combined with the scarcity stack, like the more value and demand you can create. Because if you're not doing this, if you're available constantly, if you're available to anyone, like either way, like that doesn't sound valuable to me. So why do this in the first place? And again, you do this because you want to be highly protective of your capacity to provide amazing results. This is the foundation of the scarcity stack. And most importantly, your peace. Right? So if you want to actually make an impact, guys, if you want to be a coach that changes people's lives, you got to understand, you got to be super protective of your capacity to help them. You got to be super protective of that. You don't have to like offer your help to everyone constantly all of the time. No. What did we say in the beginning? Focus on that one specific group of people and make sure you just kill it with them. Make sure you get the amazing results with them. And that's how you also protect your peace. And so how do you create and deliver a premium experience for your clients? Well, you create your signature method. And you got to understand, people pay a premium for proprietary systems, not generic advice. So think Alex Hormozi's value equation or Russell Brunson's funnel strategies, right? So these guys develop their unique methods, their signature methods that will allow them to make millions. Now, you might ask, why do I need a signature method as a coach in the first place? Well, without one, you're just another coach offering generalized solutions. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be that. And your signature method or unique mechanism is your own unique predictable system that guarantees results. And I got this from Blair Enns, who said low variability in process equals low variability in outcome. So long story short, if you build out a 3-phase system, for example, for your coaching program, for your method, and each of these phases delivers the exact same outcome for everyone every single time, that creates the predictable outcome. And that positions you as the safe option. Because your soulmate clients need to perceive your offer as the safest one. And the more predictable the outcome is, the better. If it's unpredictable, if it's chaotic, people are not gonna, they're not gonna buy. And that's the biggest thing. Like, I've seen people change up their entire program all of the time, and that's because they don't have a signature method in place. They don't have a system. And again, low variability in process equals low variability in outcome. So if you develop a step-by-step, I call it the 3-phase system because this is the most popular in business, like 3 simple phases, clear phases for your clients. And if you create that predictability, then you're going to be the safest bet. And a signature method will position you as an authority, an expert. It will make your process memorable and easy to market. So also for content, this is great. It will increase client trust and buy-in because it shows you have a proven system, and it justifies premium pricing. Because again, people will pay more for a method they perceive as unique and effective rather than, I'm just trying to delete this. Oh, it didn't work. Never mind. Yeah. Rather than something generic, right? So the more you do this, the more you develop your signature method and market it, the more people will say, oh, okay, this is something unique, not just another generic course, which we're trying to obviously stay away from. So here's the framework for how to actually build it step by step. First, you identify the transformation you want to deliver. Obviously, we got that clarity from the first part. Then you break it down into steps, ideally 3 phases. So you do the 3-phase system. So this is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, boom. And then you give each step a unique name, a unique to your brand. And then you highlight your unique angle at every single point. What is the unique angle here? What is that X factor that drives this entire thing? So this is the framework for that. And it's really not that complicated. It's again, giving people like, 3 clear phases, defining these with unique names, defining the outcome for each phase, and making sure making sure like it's predictable, making sure everything is controlled so that the outcome is predictable, the outcome is controlled. Because with a controlled outcome, you got it, right? If it's unpredictable, if it changes all of the time, if your program changes all of the time from customer to customer. Now, I'm not saying you got to tailor some things, especially with one-to-one mentorship, obviously. You got to tailor some things for people. But the framework needs to kind of be the same, right? Now, guys, this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Like there are so many more strategies and in-depth lessons that I would want to share with you. And I'm aware it's been a lot. I could talk about this literally for days on end. And there are a few things now which I think are standing between you and a successful business that fuels your dream life. So we got the skills, which are mainly like creating content, running ads, sales, creating your program, developing the step-by-step system, developing the mentorship, the onboarding. There are so many different things, right? Because it can get chaotic. Then we have the clarity, which is basically knowing exactly what to focus on and building step by step without the stress. Because this is a huge thing. Like a lot of people just dive into different things. They have the shiny object syndrome. I was like that when I started, and it's tough. And last but not least, the accountability, which I think is honestly the most important thing. Having someone there to actually guide you and help you when things get rough. Like my only regret with all of this is not investing into someone like that earlier. And look, if you're serious about this, the last thing you want to do is waste like 5 more years even of your life trying to just figure it out. Like don't do that. If you're serious, believe me, don't waste the time like that. And Alex Hormozy said this the best. And like in this life, he said the only way to buy time is to buy the knowledge from other people that paid with theirs. Right? So this guy said it. So now, honestly, guys, you got two choices that I'm giving you here. Option A, and I'm going to be super transparent with this. You can do all of this on your own, right? I try to do it on my own as well. And you can spend the next 6, 12 months or even more trying to see if it works until probably the next shiny object comes along and you just jump ship, right? Which I almost did as well. And you're then trying something else only to be overwhelmed again and stressed out because of the lack of clarity. You're like, what the fuck should I do? I went through that like tons, and you don't want to be there. And ultimately, you risk wasting your truly only valuable resource, which is your time, because we'll never get our time back. You can always make more money. You cannot make more time, right? Trying to do everything by yourself. So this is kind of like option A that I'm giving you here. And now the option B is you decide to take the shortcut, right? So you decide to actually pay for the knowledge and formula from someone who already went through 3 years of pain, so you don't have to, right? And this is all about like you investing in yourself, your skills, your future to build a coaching business that allows you to finally live the life you want. And with this, you decide to step out of your comfort zone and join a community of winners and build alongside them. You decide to get clarity, guidance, and accountability so that there is no excuse literally for you to not win this year. And this is all about deciding to be an unlock creator, because this is what we're building right here. And let me open this up, guys, because I want to go through this. So this is our invitation in here for you to join us and become an unlock creator. And I want to walk you guys through the invitation. So we believe that a new era has begun right now. And basically the question that I have is like, do you want to live life on your own terms, doing what you love? And if yes, definitely you're in the right place. And my invitation is this, like the mission is helping you build your dream online coaching business and scale to your first $10,000 a month. Now, why $10,000? Because that's, I believe, where true freedom starts. And you can do some amazing shit with $10,000. You can travel, you can do anything you want. And if you want that freedom, you got to adapt, you got to do it fast, and you got to basically become what I like to call an unlock creator. Now, inside our community, we're getting started with some amazing wins with people that are literally in real time changing their lives with signing clients, which I think is awesome. And this is exactly why I've launched the community. And I'm inviting you guys here to join our founding members group. So this is the invitation. And guys, if you're someone right now looking for a get rich quick scheme, I just want to tell you this might not be for you. If you want to take things slow, this might not be for you either. And if you want a complicated business with low profit margins, this is definitely not for you. But on the other side, if you guys love freedom, if you want to be intentional with the business that and life that you build, if you want to be straightforward, and if you want a highly profitable coaching business, if you're ambitious, if you love systems, this is awesome for you. And this is our secret weapon for success this year. And I'm super excited about this because believe me, like I wish I had this years ago. But as I mentioned, I don't know about you, but I hate generic courses and PDF guides. And we do things differently inside Unlock Creators. 90% of communities throw so many courses at people, very few actually complete them. So I said, instead of doing that, forget all of that. We're not doing that. So inside Unlock Creators, you guys are going to have levels. So just like in a video game, you're not going to have any courses. Each level will have systems and strategies that you can instantly implement. And this is no bullshit advice, only proven systems that will actually get you high ticket clients, because I want to make sure you can focus and implement all of our systems to see success. So you'll only get access to the next level once you've completed the previous one. And this is how it looks right here. So this is basically, this is the system. This is like everyone starts at level 1. You complete the stuff from level 1, you implement everything, you've shown us that you implemented it, and then you get access to level 2, and then, so on and so forth, until you get all of these levels, and you get to collect the badges, so it's going to be super cool. I'm doing this because I know the biggest issue is the lack of clarity, and that comes from the overwhelm of having different material. Like, I don't want that. I want you guys to actually get wins, sign high-ticket clients. Like, we got people signing high-ticket clients in the first 2 months. So this is the entire purpose of this, to give you a step-by-step map, a roadmap for you to follow and not get lost. And the outcome is obviously speed, results, and tons of fun. And if that sounds cool, let's go on. So again, we're going to focus on these 3 systems, which I kind of presented to you in this video: Offer Genesis, Leads Engine, and your Clients Ascension. Right? In the Offer Genesis, we're going to actually build your entire unique brand. We're going to build your profile for your soulmate client. We're going to help you build that. We're going to help you build your hero offer, your entire ladder for the Client's Ascension, so you can actually get cash into your account, right? So that's the purpose of this, build the hero offer. With the Leads Engine, it's the same thing, building out all of these different parts in your business so that you never get lost with it, and you never struggle to get people in, get leads, attract leads. And the outcome for this at the same time is we'll grow your audience, obviously, turn you into that go-to expert in your niche, position you, we'll build a perfect ad for you that gets you a steady stream of soulmate clients and leads. And last but not least, build and launch your school community, right? So this is the secret missing piece to the puzzle to actually signing high-ticket clients, a free community that will nurture and build trust. And the outcome is obviously setting up that entire lead engine so that you can turn qualified leads into money. And last but not least, Clients Ascension. So the entire system to turn people from strangers to leads to customers to paying clients and into case studies as well. Build out this entire ladder for you with the outcome being launching your paid community and your one-to-one mentorship program, like entirely build it from scratch, even if you're starting from scratch, and start closing people anywhere from like $1,000 to $10,000 clients, because this is all possible. And this is the timeline that we're going to follow. So we're going to have 3 phases. Over the next 52 weeks, we'll go through all of these 3 phases. So the phase 1, between week 1 and 2, this is like the first 2 weeks are just about like the clarity, building out your hero offer, building out a growth roadmap for the next 16 weeks. So we're going to do kind of like an accelerator program. 16 weeks, you're going to have a custom roadmap with everything that you got to do step by step. And you're also going to have a success checklist at every step of the way. So it's kind of like school. So you have like clear to-dos and you're not overwhelmed. Phase 2 is growth and clients, and this is until the week 16. So this is basically the phase in which we focus on building your audience and actually signing some clients for you. You're obviously going to get through the levels, You're going to have access to our library. We're going to do weekly masterclasses, which are going to be insane inside of the community, and all of that. So that's awesome. And then phase 3 is all about scaling and monitoring. This is like between week 16 and 52. So this is for the entire year, right? Because now it's time to actually take things to the next level. It's all about scaling, fine-tuning details, from all of the complex automation systems to even custom AI agents that will work for you 24/7. We're going to build all of that for you, track some KPIs to make sure you're making the progress you need, and give you ultimately the most important thing, which is the clarity to know exactly what to focus on in your business, what to double down on to sign more high ticket clients and reach that 10K per month mark and even go beyond that. So if it sounds good, awesome. This is not going to take the insane hard work you guys are probably, some of you, imagining. But at the same time, if you're not ready to put in the work it takes, you can basically stop right here, because there will be some work. But if you're still here, you are literally the one I'm looking for. And as I said here, you could literally right now, like a couple of months from now, you could be in Italy, sipping wine, eating some pasta, celebrating your new clients. But the real question is, like, can you actually keep working until that day comes? And that's actually what I did last year. Went to Italy real quick to celebrate. And yeah. So now you got to ask yourself, like, if I could learn the skills to make like even upwards to 120,000 plus per year and live my dream life without worrying about money, how much would that worth, right? So this is the investment for this year, guys. So we're capping the community at 50 members. This year, I don't want a lot of people in the community, just 50 of the founding members. And you can get your spot now for $1,200. So this is $1,200 for the entire year. And obviously the goal with all of this is to have your first 1 to 2 clients cover your entire investment in less than 90 days. If you move really fast, if you're really like savage winner, you can even make this back in 30 days. So this is the investment. This is dirt cheap. Once the community is going to reach the cap limit, we're probably going to close for a while. And then when we reopen for some more spots, the price is probably going to double. So this is the investment for now. And if right now you're going like, I cannot afford that, you really got to think, is this a stress investment or a stretch investment? Like, if this is a stress investment, if it's going to keep you up at night, like going crazy, it's not worth it. But if it's like a stretch investment, like, I could do something to make this work so I can actually make money, right? More money and save years of my life, then you should definitely go for it. And if you're looking for, more one-on-one support, this is also my invitation for my one-to-one mentorship program. So this year right now, I'm only opening 10 spots for my mentorship. 3 have already been taken, and this is the best way I can help you directly. So if you like my style, if you like my way of working and everything, this is going to be a true partnership. So this is where you have the most involved coach in your corner for 24/7, basically. So you can think Rocky Balboa with like Mickey Goldmill. So except I won't make you chase chickens and that is, and it's like, this is only for people who are honestly super coachable, super ambitious, and highly committed, because these are people that are probably by the end of this year are going to get to 50,000 a month. Like, I'm not even kidding, if they actually commit. And inside, we will work together one-on-one on top of everything that you will get inside the community subscription. So besides the master classes and everything in the community, the levels, you will get one weekly one-on-one Zoom call with me, which can last up to 3 hours. You get 24/7 WhatsApp chat support with our Inner Circle group as well. And you get your own success managers. So we make sure literally every single week we keep track of your progress and nothing gets lost. And the total investment for the year is $5,000. So this is our invitation right now to you. And the guarantee, honestly, with this, guys, is simple. It's super simple. If you don't do the work in the program, like, you're just not going to get results. Like, I'm not going to give you a crazy guarantee, like, I'm going to fly to the moon and back for you. Like, no. If you don't do the work, if you don't implement the system step by step, you're not going to sign clients. If you do the work, you're going to sign clients, and it's going to be fucking awesome. So this is the invitation right now. We're going to send you guys the actual link for this document so you can check it out in the chats. And otherwise, besides that, you guys will all be invited into, if you're not into our academy on Skool, you guys go there. I'm going to drop the link in here, and you guys will be able to DM me on Skool. If you guys want to join, if you're ready to actually commit, you can join. You can DM me on Skool, and we're gonna get you started with everything, onboard you, and yeah. So if you're actually ready, let's actually, Paul, if you could help me out, if we could drop the links in here, please. Or actually, let me do this. So this is the invitation link. And Paul, if you can drop the Skool link while I look at the questions. And yeah, guys, like this is basically the end of it. Now, as I promised, we can do some questions. You need to put it in the, am I doing it wrong? I'm doing it wrong. Okay, cool. To everyone. Okay, cool. Invitation. Yeah, and can you drop the Skool link, or I can do it in here? Yeah, so if you guys are awesome. If you guys are ready to, yeah, let me drop the Skool link in here if you, yeah, the passcode for this, guys, is Rocky. So just type that in there. Yeah, so type Rocky and it should let you in with like low letters, like no capital letters. And let me send you guys the link for Skool. So join the free academy and take a look at the invitation again. And if you guys are ready to commit, DM me on Skool and we're gonna onboard you right now. We're opening doors officially tomorrow. Yeah, so the password is Rocky. We're opening doors tomorrow officially for the Unlock Creators Inner Circle community on Skool. The levels are gonna be available. We're diving into the levels. We're about to do our first Inner Circle masterclass. My voice is almost gone. And it's gonna be fire. So yeah, if you guys wanna commit, if you're ready to jump in, DM me on Skool so we make sure it doesn't get lost in the spam. Otherwise, inside of the invitation, you're gonna have at the end, you're gonna have this how to apply section, and you can send me like this code on email. But I think Skool is honestly gonna be easier. So yeah, you guys look through that and let me know, like, what do you have any questions? How was the workshop? What are we thinking? What are we doing? Was it overwhelming? Was it not? My voice is almost gone. Like, I feel like I've been talking for 5 hours, but awesome. Love it. Yeah, so you guys are gonna get the gift, the playbook from us, and also the recorded session. Almost 3 pages of notes. Awesome. Great. And yeah, guys, as I mentioned, like, I'm looking for winners. I'm looking for people who are actually ready to commit and to win this year, win big. So take advantage of this opportunity right now. We're only opening a couple of spots, as I said. So, my intention is to work with the best people. And if you're one of them, if you like my style, let's hop in. So DM me on Skool, get your credit card, and let's go in. Otherwise, if you guys don't have any other questions, we're probably gonna wrap this up. Again, you're gonna have the recorded session and everything. Paul, take it. Yes, sir. Yeah, guys. Hopefully, I'll see some of you inside Unlock Creators. This has been amazing. Hopefully, you genuinely got value from this. Again, my intention is to literally give you guys as much as possible. But obviously, if you want the one-to-one help, if you want access to the community, you can make the investment and jump in. So yeah, I'll see you guys inside of the academy. DM me there if you're ready to jump in, and have an awesome rest of your day or night or whatever. And I'll see you inside. Thank you, guys. Let's get it.